1 in 4 marriages in Singapore is a remarriage. But what happens when there are children from the previous union? In this week's Spotlight, Kimberly Spikeman meets some couples who have succeeded in making two families one.
When Wendy Chua and Matt Sullivan decided to get married, there was more to it than just planning a perfect wedding. For both, it was their second walk down the aisle. Single mother Wendy also had 3 young children from a previous marriage, Brandon, Lauren and Nicole, while Matt had a daughter, Ella.
It was such a big responsibility because it's not just 2 single young people, right? It's 2 adults with 4 children. And we knew our children's emotions and how they're going to develop depends on how we approach each other, how we communicate, and how we're going to also communicate with them. So we were very, very serious, right? We look at books, we read, we discuss, we even look for programs on preparing us for our second marriage.
And the kids always came first, even in the early stages of their relationship.
When we first met, we did activities together that the kids enjoyed. So we'd go rock climbing, I'd take the boys out to archery, or, eventually as they got a little bit older, I'd sort of help them with sports and encourage them to play sports. And we'd take family holidays and we'd just do stuff together, spend time, right? Spend quality time.
6 years on, it's clear the couple and their children are a loving, happy family. What Wendy and Matt have created by bringing together kids from their previous marriages to form a new family unit is what experts would call a blended family. Statistics show that 10 years ago, remarriages made up about 20% of the total number of marriages. In 2013, that number went up to 25%.
It suggests to us that that we may need to put a lot more attention now on how blended families are doing in Singapore, right? And to have a conversation, on the challenges that these families face, particularly the children. If children cannot identify with their family as the main source of social support, then we start to worry, because then that's when they start to seek for alternative, sources of influence to help them navigate.
For actress and educator Amy J. Cheng, it was about helping her son Joshua understand that he would not lose her when she remarried. Amy assured Joshua that his stepfather would be there for both of them.
That wedding ceremony itself, we had this family vow thing where we lit the candles together and we all made vows to each other. So the wedding was just not Chandran and myself, but also with him involved in a very significant way, to say that we are a family now, we take care of each other. Till death do us part. And I think that symbolic act alleviated a lot of his fears.
He was always a part of what we did. He was not like an attachment. He came together. That's why I say when I married her, he came as a dowry to enrich our lives.
The couple later had a child together, Jeevan, now 6. 17-year-old Joshua easily slipped into the role of big brother, but Amy and Chandran worked hard to make sure both boys know they are equally loved. Experts say attitudes are changing, and blended families, also known as step families, are now more vocal in asking for help. The Vista Sakina Centre, which opened in 2011, reaches out to remarrying couples and step-families in the Malay Muslim community. It sees between 200 and 300 such families each year. Among the issues these families seek help for concern child management. Disciplining a stepchild can be a thorny issue between a couple, which is why this is dealt with in the centre's marriage preparation workshops.
Where the new parent does not have a biological relationship with the child, and may not even have any relationship, a loving relationship with the child, it predisposes them to want to vent their anger aggressively towards the child when they see the child misbehaving or not obeying them. And so these are things that we feel is important for step families to understand, so that they place a level of control in that relationship, to understand that these behaviors are also not acceptable in a step family, particularly for new parents who would have not developed a good relationship with a stepchild.
Some families have found their own way of navigating tricky situations.
It's always a challenge for me from where I am, that I have to always consider whether I'm being fair to Joshua. But I also want to be fair to the two of them. I mean, they should live in a household with the same set of rules.
Because we were consistent in rules and consequences, so they can't play us. They can't go, Uncle Matt, Mom says yes. He's gonna know Mom wouldn't have said yes. You know, so we prevented that kind of breakdowns.
And while there are some parents who worry about conflict in a blended family, the relationship between stepsisters Nicole and Ella is proof that that's not always the case.
Food shopping, like we'd go over to cold storage and take chips, and then we'll go up to her room and eat them, or go to my room, or play like spy game. Or when we have I have a challenging question for schoolwork, I go, hey Nicole, can you help me out with this? Or when she has difficulties or I have personal stuff, then we talk to each other and just have a laugh about it.
There was this mentality oh yeah, for her she would think, my side of the family favors me more, and I would think, oh yeah, my stepdad would rather her, kind of thing. It was it was a very immature mentality, but it was definitely there throughout the first few years. But my parents put down a system that I felt was really clever, and it really helped, where at different ages we would get different things. So when we were 8, we would get our bike. When we were 12, we would get a laptop for our schoolwork, and it sort of just builds up there, and I thought that was very fair, and it put things in place.
Having spent some time with these families, they shared with me how accepting their extended families were of their new blended status, and that support made a huge difference to them. And in their own words, families don't always have to be related by blood. Rather, it's the love, care and support that's shown to each other which makes a family, family.